All right, let me know when everybody's back.
I'm here, Dave. I'm on my phone still.
Thank you.
I'm here. I'm here.
Mr. Hu, let me know when we're ready.
You're good to go, sir.
All righty. Meeting called to order. Today is Tuesday, December 15th. It is now 7:45 p.m. Town Council meeting via Zoom. Councilman Licciardi, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the
of the
flag,
United States
the
of
United States of
America
America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice
and justice
for all.
Councilman D'Amico, will you lead us in prayer?
Yes, bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we pray for your presence this evening. Bless us with your spirit. Remind us all to be thoughtful, caring, and patient when we make our decisions, and mindful of those that we have been chosen to serve. And last, we ask that you watch over this great town and all of her many great citizens. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Paula, you're on mute.
Councilman Licciardi,
Here.
Councilman Messia,
Here.
Councilwoman Williamson,
Here.
Council Vice President D'Amico,
Here.
Council President Goslin. There is a
Here.
quorum on record.
Paula,
before
before
we
you
move
begin,
on-
I'd like to close the executive session.
Sure.
Under section 42-46-4 and 42-46-5A2 of Rhode Island General Laws, the town council, I'm looking to close the executive session held tonight with the town council that discuss successor collective bargaining agreements with, 1, the International Brotherhood of Police Officers, Local 312, 2, Local 1104, International Association of Firefighters, AFL-CIO, and 3, RI Council 94, ASME, AFL-CIO, West Warwick Town Employees, Local 2045.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion, none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Discussion regarding actions and planning pertaining to addressing COVID-19 virus and the impact of town operations.
Mark?
Good evening. The next item after this brief update will be the executive order extending our state of emergency through the second council meeting in January. But before that, I just wanted to provide a quick update on town services and town employees. Our town hall continues to be open by appointment. We're moving forward with plans to bring our employees back after the New Year's with some safety enhancements and some protocol changes, and shuffling some people around in a few offices to prepare for better spacing. So we plan on still doing that right after New Year's. An update on employees. After a couple rough weeks, hopefully we've turned the corner. I believe we're at 4 positive cases with 4 quarantine right now, which breaks down into 1 at DPW and a couple of scheduled to come back to work tomorrow. The police department has a couple of positives with 1 quarantined. The fire department with 1 positive and 1 quarantined. And I believe the sewer department is all back online. So we feel good about that and hope that our employees are staying healthy and safe through the holidays. Our fiscal portion, pretty much continues the same. We continue to buy PPEs and other supplies and do the appropriate cleaning. Other than that, I don't think we've had a significant increase in some personnel cost. We continue to pay maintenance to come in and decon select areas on a scheduled basis. And, emergency response personnel have been replaced when we've had people out quarantined, but it hasn't been excessive by any means. That's all I have.
Any questions for Mark? I will say, I know it's been trying times, and I think between the staff, department heads, frontline employees, I think everybody's come a long way from where we were when this all started. And, I know we had some hiccups over the past couple of weeks, but I got to say, kudos to everybody who's been involved. And most of all, Chief Ferrone, I know this has been an added task for you over the past few months. And again, I just want to commend you on the job you're doing with keeping employees abreast and working with all the departments, not just the fire department.
Thank you.
Discussion action vote of town council. Any matter of this portion of the agenda may be acted upon by way of topic discussion and action by the town council with the vote on the record to approve, amend, deny, or table the agenda item. Discussion and ratification of Executive Order 2020-14, amending Executive Order 2020-1. Executive Order 2020-14 shall take effect on Tuesday, December 15, 2020, and shall remain in full force with the town council's approval, shall continue in effect and automatically renew every 7 days until Tuesday, January 19th, 2020, unless discontinued earlier by either the town manager or town council.
Move the executive order.
Second.
Moving second, any discussion? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi,
Yes.
Councilman Messier,
Yes.
Councilman Williamson,
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
A resolution authorizing the transfer of town property to the Arctic Village Redevelopment Agency for the purpose of sale in support of Newberry Place condominium development located within Arctic Village Redevelopment District.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and second, any discussion? I know we met on this last Tuesday. We had a couple hours worth of discussion, so I don't know if anybody has any further discussion.
Yeah, I just want to start up by saying I think it's going to be great. I think there's I received a few emails this week too, and I know there was a long, lengthy discussion about with the price that we could potentially sell that site for. I think in the long run, it's going to add it back to the tax roll if we sell it. It's the only way that they're going to be able to do what they want to do over there. They need the parking for the condominiums. I think it's going to be good for that whole area. I think a lot of people, things don't always move as quickly as you want them to, but things are moving in the right direction in that downtown area, between the Newberry building and the old Holmes building. And then, I know not too far down the road, Thunder Mist and the Arctic Playhouse. And I think that area is definitely on the way up. So I think I think it's a good project. I think that we should move forward with this resolution today, and they can move forward with their project. I think it's good for everybody in the town. It's a win-win, I believe.
I would agree. I mean, David, there was a lot of discussion. I still question the price a little bit, but it's not worth further discussion, because I would not want to see the project not go forward because of that. I think that it's important that I think we all got sort of an education on the Arctic redevelopment. We sort of refresher. I think it's important that we probably keep those conversations going, and maybe ask Jim Marsh what we can do to help, if anything, to have that agency be more involved. So it's not every 3 or 4 or 5 years something comes up. Is there something we could do more proactively in getting things done? And I know he has said he's done some things. I do see that this resolution actually does have a contingency that we need to have that right of way or gangway or whatever it's called squared away before we transfer the property. Is that correct, Solicitor?
That's correct, and we received information from Attorney Brennan yesterday, clearly indicating that even though it has the odd name of a gangway, it does allow for access onto Senate Street, and it appears that easement or right-of-way or gangway is legally appropriate, and it runs with the property, so there will be ingress from Washington Street only and egress onto Senate Street only. And the other conditions that the council wanted are also in the resolution, and the resolution will be attached to the deed as an exhibit.
So who is that right-of-way easement? Who's that to and from? Can you explain that to us a little
Sure.
bit?
They provided a title policy from a purchase of the property.
Who's they?
That's Attorney Brennan.
He has his hand. I have him unmuted.
Okay.
Oh, if he can explain it then, if he's here.
Yeah, Mr. Brennan's here. Mr. Brennan?
Hello, thank you, council members. I'm not sure why my video is not working, so I apologize for that. But so I reached out to the applicant, in this case, Bill D'Amico and his company, and I got a copy of the title policy from his attorney from the closing, Joe Noddy's office. When I reviewed the title policy, I noticed in the legal description for the lot, which is known as 37 Washington Street, the gangway included as part of their legal description itself. So it's actually property that has been deeded to them. I reached out to the surveyor as well. He confirmed that the gangway exists and is part of it, and also gave me information surrounding properties around this one. And I looked at their deeds and legal descriptions, and none of them have any right or ability to use the gangway. In fact, the legal descriptions attached to those properties use the gangway as a landmark as to where the other properties actually end. So it would be my opinion, and that's why I provide that information to the solicitors, to Tim and to Al, just to give them the opportunity to review too, in case they disagreed. But everything from the title policy to the surrounding properties points to the gangway belonging and running with the land and being a really part of the property, almost, for a lack of a better term, to 37 Washington Street.
And
Any questions?
Alan, Tim, you've looked at that, and that's good. I mean, that's Greek to me, but it sounds.
It basically means that when they bought the property, which is where the Newberry building is, that access to Senate went along with it, crossing that path. So if you look at the vacant property, it would be towards the Archambault Avenue where the Kiowa or the old shoe store is. But that gangway is clearly marked where it would be to the, again, don't hold me to this, but it looks almost to the northeast up to the lot that has the Newberry building on it. And it's accessible from the Newberry building. So it's accessible from this new lot, because even though they're not going to be merged, the Washington Capital Group would have both control of the new lot through its deed from the Arctic Village Redevelopment Agency, and they already have the Newberry building. So they have access to Senate Street for exiting vehicles from that parking lot. So it would appear that there is a legal document which clearly lines or outlines the ability for vehicles to access, or any other people to access, that gangway, which I believe is 17 feet wide. So it's wide enough for vehicles. I'm sorry, 19 feet wide. So they can access or exit onto Senate Street. So it would appear that question has been answered in the positive and in the affirmative. So unless there's anything else to do regarding the price, it would appear that all of the conditions have been met that were discussed at the public workshop last Tuesday.
I hate to say this, but that gangway was there in 1956 when I worked in Smith's Drugstore at the corner of Senate and Washington Street.
I'm not
I
gonna.
hate to
touch
say that, Al. That's
I'm not
right.
touching
That's
that
a,
one.
so just in my own head, so that gangway actually goes with the building, not with this lot.
That's correct. Yes, it goes with the building, not with this lot.
So if for some crazy reason they sold the building and not the lot, there'd be an issue, but so it runs with the Newberry building.
Actually, but it runs with the property that it sits on, so it can't be changed. You can't build on it. You can't do anything on it. It's there specifically for ingress and egress.
No, but I guess I meant, so if they sold the bill, hypothetical, just a crazy question, if they sold the building, but somehow didn't sell that lot for some reason, because they struck oil on it, it'd be a problem. I mean, I'm being,
You could almost, I don't think you could. You'd have to
Okay.
maybe possibly do a subdivision through the city to be able to
Okay.
pull those two pieces apart.
okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that would make sense to me that would have to be done. So as long as we know that. Nope. As I said, I talked long and hard about the purchase price last time. Sal gave us some other information about prime versus non-prime. I still question the price, but it's not worth, the overall project is worth proceeding, I believe.
All right, any other comment? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi.
I've been struggling with this. I am going to vote yes after having a lot of comments at the last workshop. However, I am not sold on the price, and I still have doubts on condos in that location. But I don't want to put a stop to any of this project. I think it'll look better than what looks there now, so I'll say yes.
Councilman Messier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williamson.
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
And if I may, I think the transparency that we went through and the project and the workshop that we went through was the right thing to do. I think that's important. And I know it took up some time out of our COVID quarantining and all that other stuff, but I think it was the right thing to do. And I hope the project goes just as planned.
Awesome.
Sewer use appeals abatement, resolved that the following abatement is hereby granted per recommendation from the Sewer Use Appeals Board and presented by the Director of Administration of the Wastewater Treatment Facility for approval by the Town Council. Original list is on file in the Office of Director of Administration of the Wastewater Treatment Facility. Mr. Luis Pires, 1426 Centerville Road in Warwick, Lot 251, Lot 189. Abatement is $845.11.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi.
Yes.
Councilman Messier.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williamson.
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Consent agendas, license applications. Resolved that the consent agendas having been posted, all matters being referred to proper departments and being disposed of or awaiting recommendations, the same is hereby approved.
So does this have to come off the table? Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's not tabled.
Okay, so I'll move the license applications.
Second.
I will,
Moved and-
sorry, I'm recusing myself, David.
For the record, Councilman Messier will be recusing himself. Any other comment on licenses? Any public comment on licenses? Hearing and seeing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi.
Yes.
Councilman Messier has recused himself. Councilwoman Williamson.
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico.
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Ordinance 2020-20, second reading, sponsored by Councilman Licciardi, an ordinance amending Appendix C, traffic ordinances of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of West Warwick. Ray Street, one-way southerly from Pulaski Street to Remington Street, no parking on east side of Rice Street between Pulaski Street and Remington Street.
Move the ordinance.
Second,
Moved and seconded, discussion?
Here for second reading, and this was, the traffic committee decided on this as a result of the no parking that went in on Pulaski Street to aid the flow of traffic in the area.
And I just want to bring up, and Councilman Licciardi, I know this is your ward. We just had a situation in my ward where we approved some no parking signs. And actually, after they were installed, we had to actually redo because it's just the wording on the sign was going to be a little different or whatever. So just make sure when we have these ordinances before us that you definitely visit the site and make sure that the signs are put properly, or else we'll probably be out there removing them and reinstalling them and doing whatever. But just keep an eye on that. I know Major Archambault and Freddie were very receptive to getting the problem resolved to my situation. So just and we have a lot of new guys and employees out there. So let's just make sure we're installing signs properly and let's just say straight.
David, I do know that Major Archambault stays on top of these things to the extent that not only does he use the regular required publication, but he notifies by personal letter everybody affected by it. So every
the situation in my neighborhood, even the homeowner or the landlord who he actually called me, and when I met with him, he goes, I understand there's a parking problem over here. I'm glad you guys did what you did. He goes, I just need help fixing these signs. And I just want to make sure, and I know, Don, if we could just make sure we stay on top of that and make sure, and maybe if we have questions before we do it, reach out to the council member or, not just via email, because we don't look at email every single second of the day. Reach out to us via phone. If we can answer, we can maybe meet you out there right away or make sure, because I know a lot of this is put in by a council member or a resident, and we usually know what's going on. And, before we install something and we have to go out and fix sidewalks and do whatever, we just want to make sure we're doing the right thing and what the councilman or the resident is requesting.
I can say with this one, when we put the signage, no parking on Pulaski Street, that was the focus. And then, and I spoke with Major Archambault 2 or 3 times on that. And after that happened, the cars that were parking there proceeded to park on Rice Street, which on both sides, which made it a one-way. You couldn't get 2 cars down, one going one way, one going the other. So that became a separate issue. So like everything else, it becomes a domino effect. But Major Archambault was excellent with this, as far as keeping me in the loop, asking my thoughts. And again, I traveled the roads just to make sure, I know what I'm talking about. So, but when I think when you're dealing with tenants and landlords, it really all depends. I mean, if tenants come in, new tenants come in and they have 2 vehicles versus 3, and there's enough parking for 3, it's not a problem. But if you have 3 vehicles and there's enough parking for 2, or somebody else moves in with you, and you add another car, I go, that's when it becomes an issue. So I think that's like that everywhere, though. That would be the same as your issue, right, Dave?
No, mine was 5 signs in front of 2 houses, all on 12-foot poles, and 5-foot signs. So it became a hot topic just for that day or 2, but it's resolved now. Any other questions on this ordinance? Any public comment on this ordinance? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi,
Yes.
Councilman Messier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williamson,
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
Ordinance 2020-21, second reading, sponsored by Council Vice President D'Amico. An ordinance amending Chapter 4, Animals and Fowls, Section 4-11, definition of 4-21, maximum number of dogs and cats permitted per residence, exception penalty of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of West Warwick.
I'm going to move that we table this for now. After the first reading, a number of questions have come up regarding some parts of the ordinance that need to be looked into further. Questions regarding like total number of animals. Again, I'm going to move that we table this for now until Attorney DiFiore can look further into this.
Second.
If I might comment, in addition to what John has just said, at the same time that these questions came up about the ordinance, I received correspondence from Mr. Newman of the SPCA, who informed me that he had reviewed what I sent him, which was the whole animals and fowl ordinance as it pertains to our ongoing code update. And he said that he had some problems with our ordinance, which was why I sent it to him, because I had problems and I was sure that the SPCA was going to have problems. He asked that we get together, so I called him today and I will follow up on it. He wasn't available, but I would like, at this junction, I would suggest to the council, along with Councilman D'Amico, that it be tabled and that we just wait to bring it up with the full code ordinance, instead of doing, as I put in my email to you, a piecemeal, trying to take care of a little section that I saw a problem with, but to do the whole thing and do it properly, so that we're taking all aspects of this into consideration.
With that being said, I know I received one phone call. Other council members have shared some neighborhood opinions. I just want to clarify, I did not see the article in the Daily Times, but I guess it looked like I was advocating to have unlimited amount of pets in a household. By no means was I ever advocating for anything like that. What I was advocating for was why we have a kitten breeder's license and not a dog breeder's license, and possibly having just a kennel license that will help because I know right now the kennel license doesn't allow more than three pets. That includes cats, dogs, and whatever else in a house without having that kennel license. And when Al actually made the comment at the last meeting that, this may have to, we have five kennel license out there right now that are not breeders. They're just following the rules of, they have more than three pets. So when Al made the comment that, this could affect those houses, the first thing that came to my mind was seeing little Johnny telling little Johnny, we have to pick a pet that has to leave the household. and that was something that I thought about real quick. And so again, people took it the wrong way. I'm not sure how the article was fully written, but I know I did receive one call from a resident, and I know Councilman D'Amico did share some concerns that residents actually shared with him about me individually. So I just think it came out of context and it was written the wrong way. And hopefully I clarified that enough.
David, I did not see the article, but I received a phone call wanting to know why, they didn't say you, but they said why the council wants to open it up for as many dogs or cats as people want.
Yeah, I got the same phone call.
I said, that's not what it was all about.
These are just things that have to be discussed. I mean, it's just a matter of like ironing everything out and modernizing this.
Yeah, and I think also I had a lengthy discussion with Joan from Angels, and also another individual Warwick City Council member Jeremy Ricks, who's also with Angels, and they had some concerns about the age of the kittens. And I know that we can discuss that more at the next meeting at length. And I think Joan was unable to attend tonight's virtual meeting too. So I think it's a good idea if we table it, and that way she can kind of I'll let her at length describe the reason why she was not a fan of the lowering the age limit of the kittens, because we have an
Jay-
exemption in there right now.
I spoke with Councilman Ricks on that and his suggestion, and he sent me what Warwick is doing. And he agreed with me that instead of doing it even at your next meeting, to wait till I have the package from the SPCA. And I agreed with Jeremy that at that point in time, he and I would look at the picture together, as opposed to, again, taking a little segment of the age of kittens and trying to
Yeah.
do something with it, but doing the whole picture at once.
Now, just one question, and I'll see if I get a second to table this. When we say all pets, though, that was the other question that did come to mind. There are people who have, and I have relatives that actually have a pig, a cat, a dog. So what's considered a pet in this ordinance? And
Because we allow 12 chickens right now, right? So that's weird. We allow 12 chickens, but only 3 cats or dogs, correct?
well, I just want to know what, and exactly,
Yeah.
you are correct on that, but I just want to know what's considered a pet in a household. Is it a lizard? Is it a pig? Is it a ferret?
It doesn't say, David, it just says the
It's a
maximum
pretty long
number
discussion
of
at this point.
dogs
Can we
and
table it and
cats
then
permitted.
figure this out later?
Yes.
Those are the only animals limited.
I'll second tabling it.
You can have,
All right, I have a motion.
I guess you can have a half a dozen pigs, but not half a
All
dozen.
right, I have a
dogs.
motion and a second. Now I have to stop.
The ordinance needs work.
All right, thank you. Roll call vote, Councilman Licciardi,
Yes.
Councilman Messier,
Yes.
Councilwoman Williamson,
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
November 2020 FY21 monthly finance report sponsored by the Finance Director.
Good evening, everyone. Current year tax collections are at $35,283,311.29 as of November 30th, which is 54.08% of the budget for current year taxes. Prior year tax collections are at $473,108.36, which is equal to 31.54% of the budget amount. And this line has been adjusted for the 60-day accrual that gets recorded back to fiscal year 2020 in the amount of $705,671. Overall, the revenues are at 45.32%, which is trending higher than expected. Expenditures are trending under budget at 35.60%, which is about 6.07% below the expected 41.67%. The Civic Center is in a surplus position as of now, as of 11/30/2020. It has expended $160,352.07 and has generated $281,073.91 in revenue. The general fund is also, has an operating surplus as of 11/30/2020. A great deal of this surplus is related to vacant positions in DPW, personnel, and some clerical positions. As of the end of November, a lot of these vacancies have been filled, and with God, I can't speak tonight, have been filled in DPW and personnel. Therefore, we expect expenses to increase in salaries and project costs as additional work is being performed. Also, the auditors from Bloom Shapiro began their field work on the fiscal year 2020 audit and financials as of October 5th. They had made great progress, and the town operating surplus for the fiscal year end June 30, 2020 is expected to be approximately $2 million. We're still finalizing some journal entries, and it is going into draft form. Actually got a draft of it today to start working on. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the audit will be wrapped up by December 31st. That's my goal, but barring unforeseen circumstances.
Any questions for Kristen? Kristen, I just want-
Actually, oh,
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry,
Maribeth.
go ahead.
No,
No,
go
I was
ahead,
just going to
Maribeth.
say, Kristen, on the and or Lori on the Civic Center, the 170 obviously isn't reflected yet. Are we going to prorate that? Or is there going to be any change, or is that just how we're going to leave it at 170 because it's 170?
What is the 170?
$170,000 expense is not reflected yet.
Oh,
which is
right. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So obviously, I mean, if you would want to put half of that there.
So where we're at right now, it is actually per month. So I kind of calculated it a different way each month. So per month, it's $14,166.67. So it's $70,833.35. That's where we're at right now. And even with the equipment lease, that is $12,083. So even if you were to add those in, we're still at a surplus of $37,000.
And can I ask what the major needs line item is?
As of right now, please do not ask on that. If you want to ask that privately, that's an ongoing situation, and
Okay. I'm
we'll go
sorry.
from there.
All right. No, I mean, it looks like we're in decent shape. Everything considered. Obviously, the things that are way over budget are EMA, which we know, and we'll get some of that back. And canvases, we know that because we had elections. So, I mean,
we did actually just get a $15,000 grant. So we'll be moving some of that elections into a grant fund to offset the revenue that they receive. So that line will actually be looking better as well.
And the senior center, we just give that money out, I assume, because the senior center is not technically open, is it?
I don't know if they're open or not. It's a quarterly allocation that Manny emails me. I'm not sure if they're open or if they're running any programs right now.
They're not open to the public, but they're open. I mean, they're there. I mean, they're obviously there, but then I know that they're still, Manny is still doing the, I don't know the details of it, but they are dropping off food to elderly people every single week. So they're definitely still doing. I mean, obviously there's no bingo, there's no, annual senior dance and stuff like that. But they're definitely, and I just talked to them today, they're definitely still doing stuff.
Yeah, I think they're still running some programs.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe some virtual. I think they have a program where they're trying to connect seniors with like cell phones and stuff, because obviously a lot of them probably are technically challenged maybe. And, try to help them be able to do some maybe more programs virtually, I believe so.
And Kristen, I assume some of those line items where in departments where we're significantly under expenditure, some of that's timing, I assume.
Yes.
Like general government. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Kristen?
Can I just clarify that? I just want to clarify that somebody doesn't take out of context what I said. We're not buying cell phones for seniors. There's a grant that they're getting them. It's helping them get acquainted with using them. Just before somebody turns that into that we're buying senior cell phones, I want to clarify that.
Thank you. Thank you, Paula. Kristen and Paula were next.
Resolution to consider the purchase of a data business continuity device for safety reliable data backup for Town Hall Public Safety Department, sponsored by Council President Goslin. Purchase of a business continuity device. Resolved that the Town Council hereby considers the purchase of a Datto S4 E6 business continuity device, safe, reliable data backup system with both internal and offsite capabilities. The purchase of the hardware and shipping will be made through our IT vendor RCC and will be funded from the following sources. Police Communications, account 1200-5451 in the amount of $2,914.30. Police Supplies and Expenses of account number of 1200-5300 for $2,000 for a total of $4,914.30.
Move the resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Mark?
Paula pretty much explained what I had sent out in my memo, but the Cliff Note version is the town hall and the fire department currently use a Datto server for our internal backup of data and facilitating offsite storage. The police department uses a separate independent vendor for our offsite storage. So the two parts to this are our current Datto server in-house has reached its typical life expectancy and is now out of warranty. And I'm up for renewing the contract with the police vendor. So before renewing that and paying for it, I decided to propose utilizing our economies of scale and consolidating our efforts to purchase a new Datto server with increased capacity to handle the town's data in a more safe and cost-effective and most efficient way. I had RCC provide an assessment of our current system and the restoration process should we suffer a data loss or a breach, and they concur with this recommendation. As mentioned, it's slightly over $4,900 to purchase and ship the item, and I propose paying that out of a couple of police department accounts, although it would be for town-wide service.
Any questions for Mark on that? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi?
Yes.
Councilman Messier?
Yes.
Councilwoman Williamson?
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Discussion action, Historical Society Building Addition Update, sponsored by Councilman Licciardi.
This is just a monthly update on the building addition that Historical Society president needs to provide the council. So I don't know if Jerry Telly is on.
Yeah, he is on. I'm going to allow him to talk. Jerry, just state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Jerry Tellier, 136 Burlingame Road, West Warwick.
What's the update, Jerry?
Okay, since the last meeting, the entire structure is framed. The handicap bathroom is framed up. All the windows are in. We're waiting 2 doors. They're on back order. And the roof is on complete, and they are shingling the outside of the building to close it in. After that, the 2 doors will go in. We need the rear exit to be completed and the front ramp, and that should complete phase 1. There have been no problems. Everything's going well, and we're starting to get quotes for our phase 2, which would be rough plumbing, rough electrical, insulation, and boarded to be plastered. We have probably enough money to go that far. We don't have enough money to complete the project as finished work and stuff like that, but we're well on our way.
Thank you, Jerry. Any questions for Jerry? Thank you, Jerry.
Acknowledgement from Mary Ann Kelly's retirement.
Okay.
As you all know, Mary Ann Kelly is out right now and ultimately sent us an email announcing her retirement, which will be March 1st. So she is out of the office right now, is working limited from home, but again, we'll be posting that position. I know we've had some conversations with our HR director, Sherry Fournier, and I know she'll be getting that position posted if it's not already posted already. We'll probably be busy with some interviews in January and February, to just letting you know, between town manager and also now clerk. So, congratulations to Mary Ann in her retirement. I wish her the best of luck. It's been a pleasure working with her. She's always tried to keep me in line and give me hell when I give her hell, and definitely been a pleasure. And she's always been a very family-oriented person to work with.
So Mary Ann's retiring and she seems to be excited about it, but she does have another adventure that she is moving on to. So it doesn't sound like it's going to be a sit at home and do nothing retirement. Sounds like she has some irons in the fire. So I agree with David. Certainly thank her for her service and wish her well.
I feel the same way. I think in my four years on the council, she's been a big help to me. Anytime I've had a question, doesn't have to be clerical. She's always been there, given the answer, has been thorough, and it really helps, especially when we first started on the council. A lot of good advice and a lot of knowledge about being, as a former council member herself. I think we were lucky to have her.
I would echo these sentiments and just wish her well in whatever adventure she pursues.
Yeah, good luck.
We'd probably be remiss when my conversations with Mary Ann, she actually was very effusive in her praise for the staff in the clerk's office and the work that gets done there. So it's probably important, if she hasn't told them that we acknowledge that she did indeed let us know that.
Yes, she did. She spoke very highly of her staff. She said from day one when she walked in there, having different people to where she is today, she thinks her staff is bar none over anybody in the state of Rhode Island. And she also pointed out how the elections went, and how, with Kerry being her first year with the town, how good she was, stressful times. And she did say, she is going to miss her staff and working with that group and working with us too. She did say, but she thought it was a good time and take that opportunity. And like Mary Beth said, she got a couple of nice little gig that might be coming her way. And I think it's a perfect time. And not only that, she can worry about taking care of herself right now until March, instead of worrying about everything that's going on in the town.
And I think actually the grant that Kristen talked about, as far as offsetting some of the canvassing board expenses, actually is a grant that Mary Ann put together, I do believe. I believe she did.
Yeah.
So kudos to her for doing that too.
All right.
Appointment to the Zoning Board of Review, alternate member with a term to expire on July of 2025, previously tabled.
Move to take it off the table.
Second.
Moved and seconded to take it off the table. I'll take a roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi,
Yes.
Councilman Messier,
Yes.
Councilman Williamson,
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico,
Yes.
and I vote yes.
I'll move the name of Tim Sullivan for the alternate member of the Zoning Board of Review.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion.
I actually do want to point out that we do have attached as a second application. I actually had a conversation with Michelle Lombardi. Michelle Lombardi sits on the pension board. There is a provision in the charter that says if you sit on the Zoning Board of Review, you may not sit on another committee. She and I had a long conversation. I explained to her that her work on the pension board was because she actually suggested that she could could step down from the pension board, and we have enough trouble filling that, and that her expertise is probably better served there. She said she understood and realized that Tim's name would be put forward today.
I actually have known Tim for a number of years, probably about 30 years at this point. Really, he's lived in West Warwick for quite some time, a well-rounded individual. This is a man who's not afraid to ask questions, very quick to speak up, to be heard. I think he would serve the board well.
And again, I've known Tim for many years. Same thing as John said. And he's always reached out to me if he's had any concerns or questions in the town. And I know through social media and whatever else, I know individuals were soliciting people to actually come out and be part of their community. And Tim definitely reached out to me and others about wanting to do this. And because of that, and actually it was Jerry Lee that was actually out there soliciting people to actually get on these boards and try to make a difference. So again, I want to thank Jerry for doing that and Tim for applying.
I also would say that Tim, he's quick to learn, so there wouldn't be much of a learning curve at all in terms of him picking up, the ordinances and the process.
Any other comments? Hearing none, I'll take a roll call vote. Councilman Licciardi?
Recusing myself.
Oh, sorry about that. Yes. Councilman Messier?
Yes.
Councilman Williamson?
Yes.
Councilman D'Amico?
Yes.
And I'll vote yes. So for the record, Councilman Licciardi did recuse himself, Paula.
Upcoming appointments, sewer use board of review, one alternate member vacancy with the term to expire on 10/20/21, and one vacancy with the term to expire 10/20/23. Pension committee, 3 vacancies with the term to expire in 2022, 2023, and 2024. Zoning board of review, we just filled. Patuxent River Authority, 1 vacancy with the term to expire on June 30th of 2023. West Warwick Public Library of Trustees, 1 term to expire on 2/20/21. Recreation Committee, 1 vacancy. Juvenile Hearing Board, 1 vacancy, term to expire 12/2024. Public comment. Designated portion of the town council's open meeting for citizens to address comments to the town council relating to matters affecting public business. Rhode Island General Law 42-46-2, 3, and Rhode Island General Law 42-46-2, 6. Comments will only be addressed to the town council, who will take them under advisement. When addressing the town council, please state your name, address. Please conduct yourself in an orderly and respectful fashion. The comments of citizens accessing this portion of the meeting are neither adopted nor endorsed by this body, but heard as requested. Members of the town council being duly elected public body as identified in Rhode Island General Law 42-46-2. 3, have no obligation to respond to the public's comments.
Any public comment? I do want to just start off with saying they're calling for some lovely weather between Wednesday and Thursday. And I know Don has kept us abreast. I think the town is hopefully ready for this storm. And hopefully our employees come through as they normally do. And again, it's our first time we've had significant snow in a long time. So hopefully everybody remembers how to drive and start fresh. The only other thing, I see nobody in the crowd raising their hand. So, and the only other thing I want to say is, from me and my family, I wish you happy holidays, safe and well Christmas, New Year's, and whatever else you celebrate. So again, from my family to yours, happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Can't believe that this year's already gone by.
You want a couple more months of 2020?
No.
Maybe
No.
Santa will bring it
everybody-
to you if you ask.
Yeah, everybody stay safe.
All righty. With that being said,
Motion to adjourn 2020.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Stay safe, everybody.
Have a good night.
Christmas.
See you later.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I hope you feel better.
Happy holidays.
Thanks.